Hi guys, today we are going to be doing a 15 or so minute yin yoga practice for your root chakra. Your root chakra covers the base of your spine all the way down into your feet, so it will heavily be focused on the leg area of your body. If you've never done yin yoga before, I highly recommend that you take a look at another video that I posted on what even yin yoga is. That's really just to make sure that you get the absolute most out of this practice. This class is first in a series of several classes focused on your chakras, which I am a big fan of. Chakras, as defined, are invisible wheels in your body. It's about as hippy-dippy as I get as a yoga teacher, but they are different energy centers that correspond to different emotions and feelings and traumas. And if you haven't exited out of this video yet, the way that I kind of got myself on board with this and started really getting into more of the subtle body, the energy body, was by realizing that your chakras, you have 7 of them, all correspond to huge clusters of nerves in your body, nerve plexus, nerve plexi. And so, for example, when you get scared and your leg muscles engage and you get ready to run, that has to do with your root chakra. And of course you feel that stress and strain there because that is where the body needs to move and react. All right, we're ready to get started. All you'll need for this, I like to have a blanket. And then if you've got a couple of yoga blocks, go ahead and grab those. If you don't have yoga blocks, you're screwed. I'm just kidding. Go get a couple of pillows. Nobody needs these. Grab a couple of pillows. That's just going to be to prop yourself up. So you can hit pause on this video if you need to. And then we're going to get started in our first posture if you need to run and get something and come back. So as you start to set up, I just like to have my blanket on the floor, somewhat of a comfort thing. Your first posture that you will come into today will be a supported bridge pose. And so this is where you'll grab your block or your pillows. You'll lie flat on your back in constructive rest. And then as you feel ready, pressing into your feet, lift your hips up and you can bring the block or those couple pillows underneath your back. And you can kind of play with the height or how high the hips are lifted in the air. And because I know you definitely know how to practice yin yoga because you watched the video that I told you to go watch, that you're very safe in this position and you know exactly what sensation you should be feeling. For this entire class, your target is always going to be something in the low back or the legs. And so as you settle in here, your hands can come to any comfortable position. And then you've got 5 minutes here. And so you really take the time to settle in, to feel that gentle, gentle back bend that your block or your pillows are bringing into the spine. And then noticing your feet on the ground. And in the relative silence, how do you feel? Can you notice the change and shift in sensation? Can you start to allow your breath to go to the areas in the body where you're feeling that sensation? Your root chakra is responsible for your stability and your need for it. And so anytime you start to get a little antsy or things start to get a little bit uncertain, it's great to target this area of the body either with yoga postures or meditation. And we start right here, just so that you can feel your feet on the ground. Noticing sensation of being steady. the sensation of being supported. And knowing that you're never stuck in one posture if it doesn't feel good. So at any point, you're welcome to come off of your blocks or your pillows. And just letting your back root into the mat. You're about halfway through your hold here. And so I want you to begin to notice how the next 2.5 minutes or so feels in silence. One breath at a time. Feeling the steady foundation beneath you. Maybe you notice your heart beating. The rise and fall of your belly as you breathe in and you breathe out. Always allowing yourself to come back to something stable. Maybe it's the ground beneath you. Maybe it's your breath. Maybe it's sounds that you're able to hear wherever you're taking these postures today. And take a big belly breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. And then pressing into your feet, you'll lift your hips. Move any props that you might have out of the way. And then go ahead and hug your knees in towards your chest. Feel your low back root down. You might even take your knees in some circles. And given that this practice targets your fascia instead of your muscles, you want to just give the body a minute to reset. And so you allow it to be gentle. You might even just find stillness right here. As you're ready, your feet can come back down to the ground, and you're going to keep it really simple here, just flipping over onto your belly. Lower all the way down onto your mat to begin with, so bring your elbows out by your side, your head can rest in your hands, and your feet can go long down the mat. You just want to give the body a few more seconds to reset before you take the back into another back bend here. And just a couple more breaths in. And a few more breaths out. When you're ready to start to come into your next posture, you'll make your way there. You're finding your Sphinx Pose. And remembering that yin is a different practice than a flow class. And so you want to try to relax your muscles. Relax your glutes. And you'll start in fairly generic alignment here, bringing the shoulders over the elbows. For a lot of you, that's going to be way too much. And if that's the case, just walk your hands forward. Take some of the rounding out of the spine. You can also drop your chin down towards your chest. That will take some rounding out. Your target for this pose is primarily the low back. We'll hold this posture for less time just because the upper body and the shoulders also get involved here. It may just tend to be a little bit less tolerant. So maybe even sway the hips from side to side. See if you can let go through the glute muscles, let go through the quads. You position your gaze in anywhere that you feel is comfortable. Always knowing that you can back out of this. And as you breathe in, you notice stillness. As you breathe out, you let go of fear. Inhaling stability. Exhaling worry. Letting yourself land in this present moment. You've just got a few more breaths where you are, knowing that you're always welcome to come all the way down onto your belly if that feels better. And just about 30 more seconds in this hold. If for any reason you want to take it to a different place, you can press into the palms, start to straighten your arms. It's going to be a deeper back bend if you get there and it feels like it's too much. I want you to back out right away. Just a few more breaths. Steadiness in. Worry out. One more full inhale. On your exhale, elbows splay out, lower all the way down to your mat. From wherever you are, bend into your knees. And windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Again, giving the tissue some time to reset. Letting the low back release. You might even notice some swelling sensation in the low back. Know that that's normal. Letting your legs go long down the mat, hands underneath the shoulders. And then what I want you to do from here is press your way back into a closed leg child's pose. So the knees are together. You'll send your hips back onto your heels and your arms can either walk out in front of you. Maybe a block comes underneath the forehead or a pillow. And if this feels like too much on the shoulders, your arms can always come back behind you. Same thing, forehead could stay on a block or come to your mat or your carpet or wherever you are. Again, just giving the back about 30 more seconds to reset. You give yourself the time and space that you need between the postures. Even noticing what changes as you rest. As you take 3 more of your deepest breaths here, I want you to notice the backs of your lungs expand into the rib cage. Really opening up and feeling that breath in the back body. Winding out of whatever shape you were in, whatever variation of child's pose you took, you'll set up one more posture for this practice. Coming back onto your sits bones. And this is where I like to bring the blanket in for myself. And so there's a few modifications you can work with for your caterpillar pose, which is where you're headed next. Now, I like to roll up the blanket and bring it underneath my knees. That just prevents the sensation in the backs of my knees from getting a little too intense. The other thing that you can do if you deal with any sciatica or low back pain, you can instead bring the blanket underneath your sits bones, or maybe sitting up on a block or a pillow. That's just going to take some of that pressure out of your low back. And as you fold forward, if you fold forward at all, I don't want you to go as far. So remembering that you're looking for this very mild sensation, nothing too crazy, and you get another 5-minute hold here. And so unlike a flow class where you're pressing and everything is very stacked and oriented, start to relax. And then as you're ready, just let your chest fold over your legs. If you've got those blocks, you could bring them between the thighs and let the head come down to a block. Obviously, I need like 8 blocks. And so do what feels right. And noticing that internal and external change. And so your muscles relax. Your head and your back gets heavy. And even as your connective tissue lengthens, even as the environment around you shifts, you find your steady roots. Because while change is constant, you can still be present in this moment. Notice sensation in the backs of the legs. The low back. Maybe the middle back. Becoming aware of where you might be clenching, you take another full breath in. On your exhale, root down, let go. You'll hear my voice again when it's time to move. Backing out sooner if that's the right choice for your body today. Notice when the mind wanders. Notice when you start to grip. And working from the ground up, you release through the toes, your feet, your ankles, the calves and shins, kneecaps soften, thighs relax, belly expands, entire back body lets go, while your arms, your hands, and your head gets heavy. One more breath in. Stay to breathe out. And then as slowly as you can, wind out of this shape. This might be another one where you feel some swelling sensation in the low back. Before that subsides, hands can come back behind you. You bring your feet to root down to your mat or the ground beneath you, and just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And it doesn't have to feel perfect. It doesn't have to look perfect. You start to let that growth, that development, your sanity work from the ground up. Always knowing that you can come right back to the ground beneath you. And so that will do it for your root chakra yin poses. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will be doing more videos like this if they're not already there, so you can either go to the next video or move on with the rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay sane, and I'll see you next time.